Hey guys, Wagwan, it's the Grammy-nominated Queen of Dancehall, your girl Spice Official, and I'm with the TheOnlyKayla Podcast. Keep it locked, your girl Spice to that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. I am your host, TheOnlyKayla, and today I have a very special guest. Thank you so much for stopping by, Spice.
Thank you so much for having me.
I usually start off my interviews with a fun rapid fire segment, so I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the first question that I ask all my guests is, who is the most famous contact in your phone?
Nicki Minaj.
Okay, there you go. There you go, right there. That was huge. Nicki Minaj, Busta Rhymes. That's awesome. Okay, next question is, what is your biggest fear?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I feel like my biggest fear is leaving my children. I've had a near-death experience in 2022, and I remember when I woke up, I kept reminded God of, what he promised me, because I lost my father when I was only 9 years old, and that brought me through a lot of pain, growing up as a young girl without a father, trying to figure it out, put the pieces together. And I always just never want my daughter to go through that, or my son to be, I'm a single mom as well. I'm the only parent they have. And so just losing me would be like losing everything. I don't know, so I feel like that's like one of my biggest fear.
Yeah, that I would agree. That's big. But thank God that you're here today and that you are able to talk about that experience. I know your kids are really happy too.
Absolutely. I'm always giving God thanks. Jesus is my king, and I'm always just giving him the praise. Like, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Keep me going.
I love that. And thank God that your kids are able to see another day with you,
Absolutely.
Because as a single mother, I know those kids adore you.
Absolutely.
So.
And I always tell people, thank God that last night wasn't your last night.
Right.
It's always important to
that
remember
gave me
that.
chills.
Be grateful. I always say that.
Yes, that is so good. Okay, next question is, what is your biggest pet peeve? What is something that irritates Spice?
I have a lot of pet peeve.
What's your biggest that you would say?
Not getting prepared for what you know is to come. So when I go to the airport and I'm behind you in the line and we're going to the immigration, they want to see your passport. Do not wait till you get there. You're searching for it and you're digging. And I'm behind you like, oh my God. When we go to the toll, you're going to pay this toll. What are you going to use to pay this toll? Like, those things irritate me.
Right.
So,
or like if you're going to go to TSA, they're going to ask for your ID.
Yes,
take the ID out. I love that. Okay, next question is, what is the best, or should I say your favorite Jamaican dish? And where do you get it from?
Where you get all these hard questions? My favorite,
Jamaican
I have
dish.
So much.
Okay, what's your all-time favorite? If you have one. Or give me your top three then.
I can saltfish. That's one. I can saltfish, which is our national dish. But I love oxtails with rice and peas and plantain and some pear beside it, which you guys call avocado. Nice lemonade. And I love stew peas.
Ooh. Now, do you get those out here? Or where's your favorite back home?
I get the knockoff.
Okay.
The knockoff version. But, I can cook my ass off so I can make it myself, which is a plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the best cook in town.
Again, I want to say congratulations on all your success. You are a legend.
Thank you so much.
Not just in the music world, but also on reality television. You've been doing it for several years. And
Absolutely.
It's been amazing to see your growth.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about your new single, 2085 T.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about that and where that inspiration came from. Because it's a little bit different than what we've heard from you.
It is. I mean, in that, I also have the video out for the 2085 T where I dress like an older lady.
I saw that.
And the idea behind that, I have my album that I'm pushing right now that's called Mirror 25. And I came up with the idea of a mirror because I'm in an era where I'm kind of in the mirror reflecting on all the things that I've been through. I've been in the business for 25 years, which is a long time. But I'm looking in the mirror like, oh my God, I've managed to overcome so much as an artist. 25 years is a long time. Where do I go from here? And in thinking about the future, it sparked an idea. What if I was in the future? I would be an older lady. And I just came up with the idea to also put my voice as an older lady, which is why I sound like that. So I'm basically in the future singing back to my younger self of all the things, the trials and I've been through, the tribulation, the heartaches, the pain, my friend sleeping with my man, all of that. So it's like me dishing the tea on myself. So that's why I call it 2085 T.
So now we see you on Love and Hip Hop and you're very vulnerable, but you're very private. You get it? So we see a lot of you on the show, but you're also very private. What made you want to be more vulnerable on this track?
I think it's because, like I said, my album is called Mirror. And with my album being called Mirror, I'm just in an era of reflecting. And in reflecting, it comes with a lot of self-healing, a lot of self-reflection. So you go into that mood where you want to also humanize yourself, to remind your fans, your audience, that apart from you being a celebrity, I'm human. I go through similar things that you guys go through, the betrayals, from friends, from partners, from everything. And I just wanted to be open and honest. And funny enough, I could have dished the tea on other people, but the tea is dishing on myself. And even me talking about myself and minding my own business to say, this is what I've been through, it's still causing a problem for other people, which is really what gets me.
The irony, right?
The irony. It's really like, oh my God, I'm really talking about what I really have been through, my real life story, but it has still hurt some people without them realizing that they have hurt me.
Right.
And that's why I'm talking about it.
So how does it feel for you to do that, to get to that place? Like, what are some of the things that you learned during this time of reflecting and, like you said, looking in the mirror?
I also realized that hurt people. And I also realized that when you have hurt someone, it takes a lot for you to probably realize or to confess it and not victimize yourself. Right. Because even in this situation, there are people who are, the ones who I feel like they have hurt me, they have betrayed me. For example, my kid's father who slept with my best friend. But they are mad at me for doing a song about it or talking about my own trauma, my own pain, when I feel like I should be mad at you.
Right.
So it's like, when you look at it, you're like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And I feel like a lot of people need self-healing, and this is my way of healing, but it just goes to show that they haven't gotten over their healing. So they too need to do some self-reflection and take some accountability for what they have done. And so this is my way of healing. I could be at home crying about it for years, but I decided to put my own thing in a song and to sing about it because I'm an artist. An author would have put it in a book, but I'm an artist, so I'm going to sing about it.
Yeah, I mean,
talk about it.
Look at Adele. She writes a lot of her music, and she talks a lot about her relationships and falling out of love.
The only difference is ain't nobody coming at Adele to say, oh, why did you say this?
Exactly. And I find that to be so hypocritical, too. It's like, you did something to me.
Yes.
And this is a part of my story, my journey.
Exactly.
And I have a right to tell
it. You have put it in such a context that made me look like, oh, my God, I never even thought about it. Because you said, look at Adele. She sings about her life. It's true. And the hypocrisy behind it. People are looking at me as a black woman like, oh, why do you have to talk about it? Because it's my business.
And why not?
Like, why not sing about my own story? And in the chorus, I'm like, I'm in a business with nobody business. It's my business. So it's like, wow.
And it's not being messy. It is your story to tell.
It is my story to tell.
It's something that you had to confront. You know what
and
I mean?
I confronted it in the best way possible that I could think of. It's like me talking about my own story.
Yeah. No, I love that. And you know Sam Smith, right? He's also a singer-songwriter. Yes. I remember he had said something at an award show where he was like, hey, I'm going to take some time off because I need to live so that I can write.
Yes.
So, and I feel like that also speaks to you because these are things that have happened within your life, things that you have lived through, experiences that you've had, and you have a right to talk about it.
I was in closed doors with these traumas, in tears, in pain. I mean, it happened with my best friend, someone that I loved, someone that I gave my all to. And I couldn't understand it at the time when it happened. Yeah. But now that I have overcame it, I'm at a better space now where I can talk about it to the point where I can sing about it, to the point where I can dress myself like an old lady to say, guess what? My own worker had sex. Like, let me live. Let me live. I deserve to be able to talk about my own pain.
Yeah, and to tell your side of the story. And also just think of the women that you're going to be inspiring because that's not what you've been through. I'm sure so many women have been through that as well. So it's so refreshing to see someone of, your status to say, hey, so this happened to me too.
Yes, it did.
And here's how I got through it.
Yes.
So I love that. Is that something that happened recently? If you want to talk about it?
It didn't happen recently. I think it happened maybe around See, the problem is I don't even know when it happened because neither of them is talking about the situation, when it happened, how it happened. They're just talking about me and, oh, now you want to sing a song? And I'm like, wait, nobody's talking about the situation. So I'm not sure if it happened in 2016 or 2017, but I know it happened around there. I found out in 2020.
Oh, recently.
Which is 3 years after it happened. And I'm now singing about it. So it's like, I don't even have the full pieces together.
So how did you find out?
I found out because my kid's father spoke about it. He was telling people, oh, I had sex with her friend because he wanted to, make me feel some kind of way because we broke up. We weren't together anymore. And he's like, oh, let me stunt on her, And that's how I heard about it. Somebody came back and told me that, oh, your baby father said he did this to your friend. And I asked her and she said no. It's a lie.
She's denied it to this day?
No, now she has a different story that I don't want to get into.
Okay.
Now she has a whole different story.
Yeah, she's trying to save face. Like, I don't know. Oh my goodness. What? I couldn't imagine how you felt in that moment.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're able, I could imagine being betrayed like that. But look at what you were able to turn into it. So I'm glad that you were able to talk about that. Now, you mentioned that you've been in this industry for 25 years, which is crazy, Spice. 25 years you've been dominating. I mean, that's such a huge accolade in itself.
Yes.
But what are some of the struggles that you've faced being in this industry for 25 years, if any at all?
I feel like some of the struggles that I face obviously is going to be as a darker skinned Black woman. It has been so difficult. I remember in 2018 when I had to paint my face as a lighter complexion as a protest to create awareness for colorism, just to showcase to the music industry, like, hey, do I need to look like this to be, to have this Eurocentric look to be considered beautiful? Because so many people, even the comments used to make it seem like because I'm so popular, why I'm not bleaching my skin, why I'm not getting lighter. Because let's be honest, people in Hollywood, you see our celebrities looking different, looking lighter. Society put that peer pressure on them to make they feel they need to have a certain look. A lot of them, have changed over the years. And so they try to do that with me to make it feel like I need to lighten my complexion to be accepted internationally. And I was just so adamant about representing and staying true to myself as a dark-skinned Black woman, just coming out here and making it big. And so that's why even when I became Grammy-nominated, I was just so elated because at the end of the day, it just reminds women who look like me that it is possible to chase your dreams and remain true to yourself.
Yep. And to not fix anything about yourself and not fix, the things that you talk about, your art, the way you look.
Yes.
And I love that you were able to, push those boundaries and to speak about it. And I hope that, I don't see this for you. Like, you don't give me the type of vibe where it's like if you get backlash, all of a sudden you're going to not talk about it. But I want you to keep talking about it because it's people like you that is going to bring awareness to things like this. And who better than to talk about it than someone as successful as you. For other women out there that look like you. Yeah. Now, the other question I have that I have is, we obviously know that for Black women, it is so difficult breaking into this industry, but also for dark-skinned Black women as well. Do you feel like the men deal with those same issues, dark-skinned Black men in this industry? Or do you feel like it's only towards women?
I feel like the men do get a little bit of it, but I feel like women get it more.
I would agree, yeah.
I just feel like the women get it more because, systematically, the woman is supposed to have a certain look. The woman, you know what I'm saying? I think the women have it harder.
For sure, yeah. And hopefully that changes at some point.
Absolutely.
Being that you've been in this industry for so long, what do you think should change within the music industry? Like, if you could change something within the industry, what would that be?
Oh, there's so many things that I'd like to change, but if I could change anything, it would just be equality. Equality. I feel like, it shouldn't matter if you're what gender you are or what's your sexual preference or certain things. I would just work more on equality, equal justice.
Yeah, I think that would be great too. I hope that we get to see that at some point.
Yeah.
In our lifetime.
Me too.
Because there's so many people, so many pioneers who've been working hard towards that. And I feel like every year we get a little bit closer, but then it's like, set back again.
Yes.
But I have have hopes.
Yes.
For this industry. So hopefully we will get
Absolutely.
to see that. Tell me a little bit about being Grammy nominated, you know, with your song with Sean Paul and Shaggy, 2 legends.
I know.
3 legends, including you, you know. So what was that experience like for you? I know we got to see it play out on Love and Hip Hop, but what was that moment for you?
So let me talk more about the moment we're working with Shaggy and Sean Paul, how easy that was for me. You know, I always have to big up Shaggy because I refer to him as my hero, which he literally came into my career and kind of changed my story, my journey. He changed my bio. He allowed me to kind of metamorphosize into a different person. And I'm so grateful for that moment. So big up to Shaggy. It all started from a DM. I sent him a DM and I'm like, Shaggy, I want to do a song with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he responded and he was like, yeah, Queen, I'm in New York, you know. And he invited me to New York to his studio. Big up to Ranch Entertainment. So talented. So many talented people. And I went to New York and that's how Go Down There was born. And he and we did that song together. And I was like, wow, it was so easy to get 1 legend. I wonder if I could get 2.
Right.
And I was like, Shaggy, what if, you know, I sent this to Sean Paul to get something from me? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Go ahead and whatever. I sent it to Sean Paul to take a listen to see what he feels about it. I had his number. We spoke because he wanted to work before. And I sent it to him and he was like, I'm ready. So first of all this just happened so quickly. It was so quickly with Shaggy. And then Sean Paul sent back his verse within 24 hours. What? Everything was so quickly. And then
that was God.
It was God. It was meant to be. And I was just so happy that 2 legends, they came together for the first time on one song. And I felt like what we felt with that song, the world felt it. So it was just so natural. And that's how Go Down They came together. And then just being Grammy nominated on that album for 10, it's just like, I'm just so humbled. I'm really just so humbled over an accolade that people said was impossible.
Right. And always by remaining true to yourself.
Absolutely.
So I think that's so amazing. And also, how does it feel for you to just get so much love from, you know,
my
Jamaica, you know, and to have such a big fan base and to know
God.
that there's people out there that love you, Spice?
Ooh, that's a good question because that's what keeps me going. I'm inspired by my besties who really are my true biggest supporters. I love them genuinely so much. I remember meeting one of them, Tammy, who is like one of the main besties. I know her page by heart because she used to comment everywhere and just defend me. Even when I'm through the muds, they'll be there. Spice QOD, all of them, spiceofficial, that's like it's so many of them that truly support me that I know their name by heart. Pretty Dan, you know, who is like a writer for me. I am just inspired by them because they motivate me, they keep me going. Kem and all of them, like it's just an awesome feeling. But I have a huge fan base worldwide who truly adores me. And I feel like it comes from seeing a Jamaican woman from the struggle because they've known me for years. 25 years is not a walk in the park.
No, it's
They
not.
have lived this life with me. They have seen where I took my brand from to this point. And I'm able to say I'm independent. I don't have any big record label behind me. I'm my own record label. I'm my own management team. You know, I do everything on my own. And so they respect that.
Yeah.
While a lot of people will hate on your success, you got a lot of people who will love you for your success that, oh my God, she did this on her own. So I'm grateful to have a super strong fan base that truly loves me and adore me. And Jamaica, where it start from for me. So I have to big up the whole of Jamaica because I them first push me to the forefront and say, yeah, this is our queen, go on for the road. So I always a big up Jamaica. Anywhere I go, I represent for them.
I love that. What do your kids think about your success? Because I know they love you so much. And the truth is you have such a beautiful family. I love seeing you guys on YouTube.
Oh, thank you.
What do your kids say about your success?
Wow, that's a good question. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you.
We've never spoken about like, oh, you know, my success. Like, I feel like my kids found out that I was an artist at school because I didn't tell them. That's just
Yeah.
Because as Grace Hamilton, my fans know, when I have on my black hair, that's Grace Hamilton.
Okay.
It's two different persona here. And so I've never really sat and say to my kids, oh, you know, I'm a celebrity.
Right.
I'm a star. This is whatever.
Mommy's famous.
Right.
No.
They came home and was asking, Mommy, who is Spice? The kids at school saying this. That's how they found out. You know, my son, I think he found out when he was 9. I'm not even sure what age, but I've never sat and had that conversation with them, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's amazing that, you know, they were able to come back and see, like, wow, my mom is...
Yes. It was the kids at school who told them.
And they probably...
You don't know who Spice is? Your mom is Spice and she is this. And they were confused.
They were like, wait, what? And it's funny because they probably still don't even understand the magnitude of how big you are and how big of a star you are.
They don't. I think my son, who is older, he will more know of the magnitude because I start to take him with me to show. I mean, we recently came from a European tour where we went to Paris and Malta and, you know, certain other places. So when they come on the road and they know that they're in a European country and they will see... you know, people certain know things. They're like, wait, hold a minute.
Yeah.
She's really big.
My mom is really famous. That's awesome.
So they know now, I think, but, you know, I'm not sure if they really know the magnitude of who mommy really is.
Yeah.
But they're going to find out.
They're going to find out.
Real quick.
They're going to find out real quick. I love that. And that also, you know what that does? That also gives them a really good balance because they don't feel like they're just thrown into the limelight, which I think you've done a really good job of kind of hindering that from them.
Thank you.
But also giving them little tidbits of like, you know, you live a good life.
Right.
You know?
I fight with that. Actually, I was punishing myself at one point because I felt like they lived too much of a good life. And if I had to live it over, I wouldn't make them live such a good life.
Really? You would scale it back a little bit?
I would. So it's funny how you said that, but I definitely feel like I would have scaled it back a little bit if I had the opportunity to do it again. Because I keep reminding them of the good life that they're living, how privileged they are. Right. And I'm like, I remember even Nicholas, sometimes you have to say, Nicholas, you gonna wash the dishes? And he's acting like, I don't need to wash the dishes. And I'm like, boy, I used to bring the bucket of water on my head, out there, wash the dishes outside on a piece of stone. Like, your life is so easy. What are you talking about?
And then he's probably like, right. You did not do all that.
Exactly.
Come on, Mom. This is 2024.
Right.
He's probably like, Ma, where's the maid?
Exactly. Thank you. And my daughter, you know, they always had her person in the house to do everything. Now that she's getting a little older, because she's 13 now, you wanted to get a sense of independence. So you're like, you got to do this, and you got to get the broom, and you got to do this. She's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, girl, if you don't, you know what I'm saying?
Now.
Do this. She feels like it's normal to have a helper or someone to always help her around the house. So I feel like if I had the opportunity, I would have scaled back a little bit.
Scale back a little bit. But you know what? On the flip side to that, you know, you have experienced a lot in your life.
I have.
Good and bad. And it is a blessing that as a mother, you can give that life to your children. They don't have to struggle. They don't have to live what mommy's been through. And, you know, that's just fruits of your labor. Like, I worked so hard to give you a better life. And this is a life that you guys have. So, you know, in wanting to scale back, I think you should also be very proud of yourself because you worked so hard for them.
Thank you.
And they have the privilege to now say, like, I lived that good life.
Right.
My mommy is fine. So being that you are a very hardworking, successful mother, you have a lot of different businesses, you're in the music industry, you're on television. How do you balance it all?
That's a good question. I feel like I'm able to balance it off because of the support system that I have. I have a great team, family who loves me truly, and that's how I'm able to balance it off. If I said, oh, you know, I don't have a manager, I don't have this, I'm doing it on my own, that would be so wrong of me. So it's the people that I have around me that helps to balance it off. So like my sister Fenice, she keeps me rooted and grounded. You know, even with my kids, when I travel, she becomes the second mom. She steps in. And my mom, big up Mama Jella, you know, she's able to take care of the kids. So I find peace in going on tour, knowing that my kids are safe.
Yes.
They're secure. They're with family that loves them. It's like a team of people, a collective effort of people that really keeps me balanced.
That's awesome, because I always say, like, being a mother and just being, not even just in the industry, just working.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's really hard. So for everyone to be able to see you so successful and you have 2 children, you're a single mother at that, you know, it's inspiring to see for other women out there who may feel like, can I do this? Is it possible? Spice is here to tell you it is very much possible. It is possible. I love that. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit, because I know we didn't get to talk about your background. I know you know you're born and raised from Jamaica, but I wanted to talk a little bit about your upbringing. What was that like growing up there?
So my upbringing, I come from humble beginnings. I started music when I was pretty young. I was pushed by my father to do it because he used to just play like a lot of Bob Marley songs and Professor Nuts in the house. And he used to trick me with food because I'm a foodie. So he used to say, if you sing the song, I give you extra dumpling in your plate. You know, so that's really where I found out about music. But I come from a place in Old Britain, Crescent Lane, where I live with my siblings. I have an older brother and an older sister, a younger brother and a younger sister. So I was always in the middle of my family.
The middle.
I'm right in the middle. I'm the middle baby.
You're the middle child.
I'm the middle child. My father's favorite. My siblings can't contest me on this one. My father's favorite. But we used to live in this board house, but it was filled with love. So I tell people I know what it feels like to be on a bed with your siblings and you got to turn head and tail to be able to fit on the bed.
Foot to face.
Foot to face. That's it.
I know about that.
Okay, you see, you know what I'm talking about in order to have a good night's sleep. So I know what that feels like, you know. I tell my mom she's a hero because sometimes it's only a pound of rice that she would cook and make it seems like it's a lot to be able to share for all of us. So I know what it feels like to walk to school. You know, at one point we left from Old Brighton and we were living in Spanish Town and I lost my house to fire. And so I tell people I know what it feels like to come from homeless to greatness. Because when I lost my house to fire, you know, I was bouncing around with family members and stuff like that. But I just managed to beat the odds and overcome everything. And, you know, I have a very humbling past and it also motivates me to never go back there. So it also keeps me going.
Do you ever miss those moments? I know I
miss the poverty?
No, not the poverty. No, not the poverty, but miss those family moments. You know, like a lot of times people, when they get like really successful or they get to a certain place, they end up sometimes thinking back to those moments, like you said, those humble beginnings. And it's like, obviously I don't miss the poverty, but just those memories that we've created together as a family within the struggle. There's beauty in that.
The beauty about it is that I do have a great relationship with my siblings. With 90% of them. Because I have a brother who is alcoholic. I don't have a great relationship with him because when my father died when I was 9, I just felt like he should have stepped up to the table and be the man of the family. So I was left to do that. And not that I blame him, but he makes me live with a sense of embarrassment sometimes because he's always drunk. Sometimes you pass him on the streets growing up as a child and he's sleeping on the streets. So it's a lot of embarrassing moments. So I do not have a great relationship with him, but I have some siblings that I would die for. You know, my younger brother, Mario, I love him to pieces. My sister, Fenice, my sister, Denise, all of us, we stay connected. Something happened, we're on WhatsApp group like, you know, we got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
We got tea.
Yeah. So I love my family a whole lot, you know. It's really, really nice to still have those memories and be able to go in a living room and create laughters with them.
So you talk about losing your dad at 9. What was that like for you? You know, 9 years old is still really young. And to lose someone as big as your dad, you know.
It's heartbreaking for me. Even, you know, when I see people lose their loved one, I always say to them, there's nothing that I can say to make you feel better because I know this pain will never go away. And they might take those words lightly, but it's what I live. Even to this day, after 30 years, when I think about him, I want to cry because he is just the reason I'm who I am. Like I'm a singer because of him. He pushed me into music. He was so loving as a father. When I remember the short memory, the 9-year memories that I have with him is just always so great. So many great memories. And I just felt like my world crashed when I lost him at 9 years old. I was young, so I didn't understand it as well. It was confusing to me when they said, oh, he died. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
How? He just left me here. He's coming back to cook for me, you know? So it's like, what are you talking about? So I still struggle with that heartache of wishing he was here to see that when he told me at 9 years old that I'm going to be a star, it was true.
Yeah. He saw something in you. Well, I know for sure. I know he's so proud of you. Being that you lost your dad at a really young age, do you think that that affected some of the relationships that you've gotten into, being that you didn't have that father figure in your life?
That's a good question. Sometimes I feel like that. Like sometimes when I look at some of my relationships, they're like, I'm very dominant. But that comes from me being that dominant person since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Ever since I can remember, I've been fighting for survival, fighting to, make it, so I'm always into that survival mode. And so even now, I always say, I'm looking for a man that can take me out of survival mode. That will just be that male figure that's going to be dominant, where I can feel comfortable to stop fighting, to just let go and go back in my feminine mode. Because the truth is, in this industry, you always have to like put on a face and be strong and manly if you deal with some of the money in the industry as well. So I always say I'm looking for a man to let me fall back and become more feminine.
Well, listen, I saw a meme that said the men are not menning anymore.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. These men are in their soft girl era.
And they said the dating pool it's a little yellow.
Oh.
That's what I heard too. The dating pool's a little yellow. Is it that bad out there?
I'm not really out there, but for me, I just haven't found that
person,
masculine person that will just be that one. My last relationship, he was up in his feelings for everything. I'm like, well, goddamn. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things is just not for me.
Yeah.
And because I'm so strong, it's gonna take a man to date me. And I don't have time for little boys.
And you'll be able to
come with your little girl feelings, and you're up in your feelings, and you're vexed. We together, but you don't want to talk for a day, and you want to, boy, bye.
You ain't got time for that.
I ain't got time for you and that. I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see,
somebody else will have time.
Yeah,
I got 2 kids. I don't have time.
What do you think about the men that feel like they can't be vulnerable in today's society with women because they feel like women will just be like, oh, here we go again. You're in your feelings. Because that's been a conversation a lot of people are having. So I'm like trying to understand both sides.
It's a difference with being vulnerable than being girly.
True.
It's a difference to be open with me and we having a conversation and you're being vulnerable and sharing with me things that bother you, or you're open. I want that person to be able to have a conversation with. What I get instead is a man that is gonna be up in his feelings and you have an attitude and I don't know what's wrong with you. But then when I start talking, you're like, oh, but last week, and bitch.
That's like passive aggressive. Like either you're gonna nip it in the bud in the beginning, or you're gonna have to let it go.
So with that, I feel like it's a difference with being open and vulnerable than being girly up in your feelings.
No, I can see that. Okay, I understand that. See, that's there's not much to ask for, right? That shouldn't be too much to ask for,
right?
Really quickly, I wanted to talk a little bit about Love and Hip Hop. You've been on the franchise for several years. You are one of the top stars on that show. Do you think that Love and Hip Hop was a really great platform that helped your music, like, you know, give your music more of a push?
There's 2 answers to that question, because a lot of people feel like, why is she on Love and Hip Hop? She's the Grammy-nominated queen of dancehall. She's so big for the show. But I always tell people that Love and Hip Hop gave me a platform for other people to know who I am and to recognize me.
Right.
I remember even when I went on the show, a lot of people still didn't know me. They were like, who's this girl? And people was offended, like, you don't know
who Spice is?
You know what I'm saying?
You have Spice on Love and Hip Hop?
I know. It was like a tit for tat. So I feel like it opened a lot of doors for me.
Yeah.
It does come with a little backlash. It comes with a little era where you may get in an argument or a fight, and the audience may say, oh, she's aggressive. I'm aggressive in that situation because one thing for sure and two things for certain, I'm not going to let no girl beat me. You're not going to do that. So that's okay. I'll take that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be aggressive. Just know you ain't going to get to me.
I'll be aggressive. Just know I'm not going to go on TV for none of y'all to beat me.
Right.
So now when we are outside of that now, then I can go back into the queen of dancehall, performing on stage, laughing with my fans. Because one thing I'm going to do is going to have a good time with my fans. I'm going to jump in the crowd and the audience. I love them genuinely. You know, I live for having a good time with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's two different platforms, two different situations. And some of the girls on Love and Hip Hop are very cap. And
like who? Who's cap?
Most of them, they're real cap.
Do you have a genuine relationship with any of the girls on?
I do, actually.
Love and Hip Hop?
I have a genuine
Who would you say is like your closest friend on Love and Hip Hop?
Shekinah is like my closest. And Rashida and the Frost, Kirk and Rashida. Is like my real friends, you know, Shekinah as well. So it's like,
we seen you and Shekinah get into
crazy.
But you guys made up, and I'm like, that's a real friendship right there.
Right.
Like, okay, so
and I love me some Rennie Rucci. I love Sierra Glam Shop. A couple people, you know,
they're not cap.
Amy and I have been kicking it lately. You know, it's a couple people that is not that cap.
So all those people that you named are not cap. Everyone else is.
Most of them.
Oh,
Yandy gonna kill me. I love Yandy.
Oh, I was gonna say that's right. How are we gonna forget Yandy?
I'm looking. I'm like, wait, am I missing anybody else?
You're right. And I love me some Yandy too. She's just to herself, about her business. I love Yandy too. Okay, good. All right, so we got most of them.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I asked that question just because, you know, we've seen certain artists get on Love and Hip Hop and then dip out really quickly once, let's say, their music career starts to kick off. Like Cardi B. I think Cardi B utilized Love and Hip Hop for what she needed or for that time, and then she was able to leave. But I think for you, Love and Hip Hop has had a great success for your music long term. You get what I mean? Like if you were to have left early on, I think you're still going to be huge and you're still going to be Spice.
Absolutely.
But I think by showing now, hey, it's not just my life that you're seeing, but I am Grammy nominated. And I have an album coming out and I have a single. So I think it's worked for you.
Yes.
Which we see a lot of people on Love and Hip Hop try to do music and it doesn't work
They
out.
can't
Rap, sing, nothing. But Spice has been able to, you know. But I think also the difference with that is that, one, you were already a legend before getting onto Love and Hip Hop. You already had a successful career prior to that. It's not like you got on the show and like, all right, let me try to make music now. Yes. It's like, no, Spice has been solidified prior.
Absolutely.
Do you want to stay on the franchise though? Do you see yourself?
No, there's an end for everything. I don't see myself on it forever.
Right.
Absolutely. There's going to be a season where it's going to come where that's my final season. I'm not on it forever.
The fans are going to be in shambles when that day comes. Like, no.
Yeah. But you just live in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's just what I'm doing.
That's awesome. I love that. That's what I'm trying to do a little bit more now. Live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
Appreciate, you know, where you're at that time. Because life can change in an instant.
Absolutely.
And we saw that what happened with you recently.
Absolutely.
How are you? Are you better now?
I'm 100% better now.
Perfect.
I went through 2 years actually of going in and out of the hospital and not knowing what the outcome is going to be like for me. But, you know, glory be to God. You know, I keep telling people that Jesus is my God, and he really just took me through a testimony, because that's what it was. You can't have a testimony without a test.
Right.
And I went through a season of being able to say, I overcame death. And
Literally.
Not many people can say that. So I feel privileged. I feel like I'm chosen. I'm going to continue to talk about my God and his glory and his greatness. Because that's really what I went through a season of testimony.
What did that do for your mental health during that time?
It just reminded me that I worship an awesome God. It reminded me that his promises were true. It reminded me of his words. Because I remember when I woke up in the hospital, I was questioning him and I was holding him like, wait, God, what is this?
Yeah.
We never spoke about this. Let's talk about this, God. This is not what you promised me, God. What's going on right here? I'm confused. And I was able to use his words to say, you know, I stand on your words in Isaiah that said, I shall not die, I should live and declare. So what's going on here? Why are the doctors telling me that I may not make it?
Right.
Because your word said, you know what I'm saying? So I went through an era where I am just now a strong believer. And a lot of people said when they look, because I shared my images, and they were devastated. I was just devastated. Like the images are so gross, but it's like, a lot of people said, oh, so why isn't she baptized? Or why haven't you given your life to God? I've been give my life to God.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here now. You know, the only thing left for me to do is probably dip in the water. But that is not just the only thing that gets you connected with God. You got to live right with him. You got to know his words. You got to feed yourself with his word. You got to be planted by the rivers of the waters. Amen. You know, so I'm going through a season where he is working on me. It's not what you think or nobody else.
Right.
Leave my God, let he do what he wants with me.
Exactly. Yeah, and I always tell people it's your walk with God. It's no one else's. And at the end of the day, you know, what I think is amazing is that you said when you woke up, right, you were that initial of like, wait, what's I this? May not make it. I may, you know, what's going on, God? This is not what you promised me. But you know what? Sometimes God has to get a hold of us.
He got to have his way.
We get so lost in our day-to-day.
Yeah.
The craziness, the success, being, you know, parents and just doing everything that we're doing. And sometimes God has to be like, my child.
I am God. I am the beginning. I'm the truth and the life.
Exactly. Come back, you know.
Come right here where I want you. And he had his moment. He had his way with me.
Yeah.
I was talking to him every day, just understanding how he works. And I understand it now because I tasted and I was able to see the glory of God.
And to know that he never left your side.
And to know that he never left me.
And sometimes we have to take that in and like, God, I don't know what you're doing with my life right now. I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, but I trust you enough to know that you got me. And you know what? You were able to get through it. Yes. And he didn't just get you through it, but he like, you know, it's like a transformation, you know, you were able to get through it, but you know, you were able to, your one prayer was, God, I need to see my kids.
Yes.
My kids need to see me the next day.
Absolutely.
And you did. Yes. And so, God is good.
He's great.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time. Won't he do it? I created a segment called 6 p.m. in Atlanta. It's based on one of his songs called 6 p.m. in New York. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions based on a Drake song or Drake album title. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Hope I understand and be able to play.
All right. So for example, the first question is views. What's your favorite scenery? Being that you've traveled the world, what is your favorite scenery?
Oh, the beach. Definitely.
The beach where?
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Yeah, the beach is in Jamaica. Just being on the beach, the water is so pretty, the ambiance, listening to the sound of reggae music as well, and being on the beach and probably smelling some jerk chicken up the street somewhere and some
the
fish
sun.
a fry and the nice sun, the ambient. Like, that's my scenery. In Jamaica by the beach, listening to some reggae music.
That brings me back to when I went to Montego Bay, and it was one of my favorite trips.
I can just imagine.
The people were beautiful. They were so nice.
Everything.
The sun, the food, the water was warm. I was like, I feel like I'm in soup. That's how hot it was. But it's just something about that island living.
It's Jamaica.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. Okay, next question is take care. When's the last time you felt taken care of?
Ooh. The last time I felt taken care of.
Where Spice felt taken care of. Because I know you do a lot of the taking care of in your home, within your family. But when was the last time Spice felt taken care of?
My last relationship never bad enough. It never bad at all. There was moments where I felt like he stood up and took care of me, but
or maybe with your mom, your siblings, something like that.
You said the last time. It wasn't last. Well, when I was coming here, my makeup artist bought me food.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, that was the last time.
And I was shocked. I was like, why are you using your money? Why are you buying food? I don't know what's that. She's like, wait, so I can't buy you food? I was like, oh.
You know what? You can buy me some food, actually.
Buy me some food, actually.
I love that. Okay, that's a good answer. Next question is time flies. What's a memory you would love to relive?
With my father.
Is there a specific memory? Or just being with him?
A memory with him would definitely be, we used to sell chicken foot in Jamaica. So we used to have to dip this chicken foot in hot water and strip them off in order to sell them. Mm-hmm. So we always have like bags on top of bags just thrown out in front of us, and we're there dipping them and picking them, and he's telling us some joke or something, and we're just there. My mom, my sister, my brother, my dad, and we just picking the chicken foot and bagging them up.
I love that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really
I'd
cool
love
memory.
to relive that with him.
Next question is more M's. What's an expensive purchase that you regret? Do you have one?
Oh, I have a lot. Every time I go to the mall and I buy some expensive stuff, I'm like, I didn't even need this.
Right.
Why did I buy this? So I have a lot of regrets
so we
when it
probably
comes
just
to money.
shopping, right?
Shopping.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, okay. How about this? What's the most you spent on a shopping spree or shopping mall?
Ooh, that's a hard one. One time altogether?
And one-time purchase, yeah.
You putting my business out there.
a couple racks. We'll leave it at that.
Over 100,000.
Next question is hype. What's a song that gets you in the mood to come out on stage?
Pop Smoke.
Oh, which Pop Smoke
My
song?
or
No, just a regular, just a song. Just a
Pop
song.
Smoke.
Which one? Or any Pop Smoke?
Any Pop Smoke. There's one in particular. That one. Oh, go Levi. That voice. Ooh. I have a video where my kids and I is dancing that song. And I'm like, I don't know the name of the song.
That was one of his first songs, right? It's like a really big song.
His first song.
Okay.
That gets me in the mood.
That's a good one, though. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
Rest in peace.
Let me tell you, he who had the city on fire.
Yes.
Next question is hours in silence. Where do you feel most at peace?
In my prayer closet.
In your prayer closet? My mom has a prayer closet too, and
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, right in her room. In her, she has like a nice walk-in closet, and that's her prayer room. And so whenever I call her and she doesn't pick up, I know it's because she's in her prayer closet.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's where you feel most at peace?
Yeah.
I love that. And the last question is way too sexy. Who is your celebrity crush? Do you have one?
Ooh, I'm not gonna answer this one.
So you do have one.
I do.
Okay, are they an actor, singer, rapper?
A singer.
Oh, a singer.
From Jamaica. He does reggae.
Oh my God.
But I'm not gonna say.
Older or younger? Like meaning like back in the day, or like he does reggae now?
He does reggae.
Oh man, but that is still doesn't answer because what if he came out years ago? I'm sure they'll probably figure it out in the comments. I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah, let them guess in the comments.
We'll let you guys guess.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, Spice. I had a great time talking to you.
I had a great time. This was a great interview.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media and also what you have coming up because I know you got an album coming out.
Yeah. They can find me at spiceofficial, Instagram, Facebook, spiceofficial Queen on TikTok. Just search Spice Official on Google. Anywhere. It will lead you to me.
And then talk about your album that's coming out.
Mirror
and your
25.
2085 T.
Yes. So Mirror 25 is the name of my album. It's coming out this summer, sometime in August. Make sure you search for it in August. Mirror 25. I'm celebrating 25 years in the music. Big up to all of my supporters and all my besties. I have a song out now called 2085 T. And the T is hot. Go hashtag it on TikTok.